Alex Answer here. It is a little bit later in the day, and I'm going to continue the free flow stream of thought, kind of observing my own energy. This is happening around the time of the bloody moon. And so in this free flow, I can also recognize how a little bit of morning interaction first thing in the day before I look at the news wire really elevated my energetic field, and being honest with you about how I feel, but also appreciating you as a viewer and a supporter. Sometimes there can be a lot of emotion that's shared from my own, let's just call it for what it is, talk therapy. And the people that I'm closest to, you're the closest thing to family, whether you like me or don't. That's kind of how crazy this is. And I suspect some of us may have some deeper ties, as I've been alluding to. And that does come to me strongly, by the way, right? I used to be a associate of a person named Clyde Lewis. Even my grandmother's like, you know a Lewis? I'm a Lewis. So there could have even been reasons why even me and some individuals, why I felt a strong affinity for certain individuals, even Alex Jones in the past. And I think that it's important that you hear what I really think. I think that some of you are on the spiritual path. Some of you don't even know what that is or believe in it, yet you're viewers anyway. You know, a person can't unhear something once they've heard it. So always keep in mind the truth. You choose to be here. You choose to click play. I don't pop up. I don't pop up in your email or through some, unless you do some special subscription. It's you that chooses to be here. And keep in mind that you are responsible for what you put in your mind. I said before the return of the fast food king, it's like there's a buffet of fast food. Now, if there's a buffet of fast food, but you have wild ahi over there, pre-Fukushima, or maybe somewhere else, right? And some other great food, some quinoa, some grass-fed. Have you ever had, by the way, grass-fed beef that's like all organic? Just like, and for you vegans, oh, how about that whole food salad with all the nuts and the dressing and all the different things that's there, meat aside, right? Maybe a little tempeh. You haven't heard me say that word, have you? I have an expanded vocabulary, folks, with regards to healthy food and living when I focus my attention and awareness to it. And so the whole point in that whole analogy is when Don King Trump, Donald King, there's not a whole lot of Dons that I trust in this world. And I think about that Don that used to run around with Bruce, my mother's brother, the one that I sometimes call my uncle. He's a dude that I should have personally floored. There's also a number of other Dons that are just, and not to offend you, if your name is Don, but let me tell you, it's really revealing when someone says, you know, that Donald Trump, he really reminds me of myself. And I'm thinking about that when Christopher Green, the guy that looks like my uncle and my uncle like him, when I heard him say that, it's like, dude, what kind of private life do you live or lead? You know what I'm saying? Because if what we know about some of these individuals, and then people just come out of the closet and go, yeah, these shady individuals that are not what they say, that may have ties to foreign governments, and they'll make it in plain sight, and they'll hijack the opposition to Donald Trump to really fuck up our country and give us no opposition to Donald Trump. That'll be where they really shake us from the side of the Democrats. Where are large, powerful voices like mine that are booming from mountaintops, that are independent, that stand with the people, represented as multiple ethnicities, right? Multiple avatars of truth, a real alternative. I don't know if the future is going to have more people like me that are speaking their independent truth or if there's going to be less. I alluded to you that the extreme challenges that I'm facing economically, just doing this and almost feeling like, um, well, a number of things enter my mind. We'll put it that way. But I do know that there is more paths to wisdom and evolving one soul than doing one thing or staying on one website or speaking just to one audience. There's elements of technology, and I've alluded to this, there's elements of technology that straight up sabotaged me and has sent demographics that aren't even in my niche into my path to where there's almost unnecessary confusion between myself and many elements of the watching audience. It's totally unnecessary. Those of us that are real independents, that are not running with the devil or the left or the right, for example, whatever side of the fence you swing on, I will never co-sign the bipartisan stomping on the face of the Middle East forever. And I will not stop attempting to speak to your higher self. And I have to go through thousands of people attacking me, mocking me, and potentially worse in the act of attempting to speak to your higher self and say, you're more than your perceived ethnicity. Check your box here. You're more than that. But I would dedicate a lifetime to telling you you're more than that. In a world of churches, mosques, and other religions, they would be leading people astray and to the next potluck for their tribe. And there may be some good Muslims, some good Christians, Jews, and others. There was always a reason why I went around the Abrahamic religions. And now I could see a rise in Gnostics and people that are on the spiritual path being demonized as Luciferians, even if they don't even believe in some of those ideologies that, oh, I don't know, that we're all gods. No, I think there's a far, far, far removed level between us and Godhood. I think that we can access higher knowledge. I don't think that Jesus is the only avatar of that type of truth, i.e., Son of God, or that which comes from above, that which descends, that which is from the immortal realms. No, I don't think it was just Jesus. I don't think it's everyone. I think there are straight up, and I want to address this with you, zombie apocalypse souls amongst us that are straight from hell itself. Some of them are haughty. Some of them got hot bodies, right? Some are male, some are female. Some come in my form, some come more in your form. And some of you don't even distinguish that much, which is great. But most people in today's day and age, more so than the past, do. And the evil would be seen in our world today, incrementally so, as we would wake up to what's really taking place, and then we would be attacked by speaking our truth. And we would still be attacked when we said, no, we're not coming against one particular group or gender. We're telling you that this is the devil of the world has divided us, kind of like a Tower of Babel situation, and manufacture events, right? Like that event that got us involved in this series of never-ending wars. And so people forget that truth. That truth is a deeper truth that leads to the ultimate truth. Once people understand the very systematic foundation of your system and those that run it, right, it is a fraud. Now, if someone truly understood the spirit of that day and understanding the truth about it, then a whole world opens up. You start to see Sauron, the Eye of Sauron, like some out of the Lord of the Rings, to use that as a metaphor. You start to see the evil organization of the world and the nation states that coordinate together to make sure that a nation has the money to do it, but also to hijack that nation already from within so that that country, the United States, is taking the blood money, taking the money that's also connected. Let's talk about the government shutdown in a minute and all that waste. But it's a coordination between the major nations that allows that occupation. It's a special coordination. It's a special takeover early on of the US government for us to go into that level of debt to where we can't pay it back. So even at the time, even if, right, you're busy still in your mind blowing Trump and you can't deal with the fact that he's part of the establishment, there's no legitimate element of the establishment that would let an alleged legitimate outside guy in once they already have their JFK and their 911. You got to understand this is basic mathematic physics logics. This is basic logic. This is basic 1, 2, 3. This is basic 2 plus 2 equals 4. It doesn't equal 5.7. When you basically understand basic logics, you put the circle in the circle hole. You put the square in the square hole. That's how the peg game goes with children. We're now at this level of everything being gray and confusing that the government could already be taken over by what they later chose to call the deep state, but previously called the New World Order Illuminati, or any other variant. Round Table Group, Council on National Policy, Council on National Relations, Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg Group. And then a lot of these things begin to fade away, along with Alex Jones ranting about them torturing innocent people overseas and obtaining false confessions, as they have a white woman stand over a naked Arab man to send a message to the world as to what they will do and continue to do, and no one will stop them. No one will stop them. And also notice it's not that the torture stopped or Gitmo was closed. It's that you stopped hearing about it. Didn't you? Didn't you? You stopped hearing about it. You stopped hearing the details. You stopped hearing about the little Iraqi girl stripped naked after watching her family executed by US soldiers. and then raped within inches of her life. You stopped caring about stories like that, but the stories and the reality of their genocide never went away. The Democrats and Republicans would continue covertly and overtly with their supremacy ideology. And they would literally, whether they were aware of it or not, how their supremacy ideology was causing people around the world to suffer as they pointed their fucking finger at the right, as they pointed their fucking finger at the racism of the left. But in reality, the racism and supremacy and the anti-Themism would exist in both pillars, both parties. And so we would reach a point where they would just simply be debating over which one was more innocent in the bloodbath in general. And that's what you have right now, a bloodbath. As you see Nancy Pelosi in a symbolic token of going to visit the troops. What? Because you support the troops? Well, they support the occupation. So again, back to the peg in the hole. If someone thinks that criticism of the military industrial complex is Democrat, is liberal, if someone thinks that criticism of the occupation of Afghanistan is like a left-wing thing, really? Really? Is there going to be a big rant from Alexander Cortez any minute now, just any minute now, where she is challenging the genocide? No, she's not. And Alexander Cortez and perhaps others, I guess there's some Muslims in office now. I guess America's becoming more fair and loving in this so-called system to where, oh, these people aren't selected. They're elected, the people are choosing. It's an illusion that the people are choosing. It's an illusion that certain immigrants and minorities are coming up in the world. In fact, it's probably very important for them to have a Muslim here or there. We're so loving. Oh, we're so loving. Oh, we're against the Trump administration. Look over here. We have a Somalian Muslim friend. Yay. And they do that and they play that. And people that don't know that the circle goes in the circle hole, 2 + 2 = 4, that they look at them, they dumb, they love their Muslim. Look at that, and dumb, they know deep state, Rick, we'll put the Muslims in, replace us. We're not, we replaced. You will not replace us. Without even realizing this is not legitimate. This is not a system that's trying to elevate certain people. They'll put certain people on TV. They'll put up the black guy with the white girl just to make elements of America seethe with red, fiery anger. Do I really have to shout at this point? They will literally show you a porno with black dudes and white dudes, but yet it's going to be white dudes that run the porno company. And dudes that have been programmed for years and years and years, right? They're looking at some of the stuff going, wow, we ain't getting none. Wow, it's all going this direction. And it would be intentional for a whole generation of white men to be told that they've been replaced by others. It's going to be very critical if they amp up that heat, if they want enough of those people to act on that programming and start calling for certain changes within a continent that they will declare as theirs exclusively. They're a sub-niche of society that the media itself is creating. And every time they are perceivably replaced and they put an Arabic guy on TV on CNN, they're showing those people what they want those people to believe. And then Gavin McInnes and Alex Jones, as they debate with the East Indian guy, thank you, come again. Thank you, come again. You would have such a low level of intelligence within elements of the right that they won't even see if these dudes have been placed there to get them to rise up. Get them to rise up. You hear, James David Manning saying, white boy gun, they ain't gonna take it no more. They're gonna rise up. Why they gonna rise up? It was warning years ago. He's not wrong. There is going to be a rising up of people say, we're going to take back then what is ours, because this is our nation. We were born here. We're not illegals. Everything is building and building. You know as well as I do, they have all the means to secure the border and even to fund a border, if that's what it's really all about. Not to have this back and forth Democrat, Republican. And what they've created now, yeah, that's right. Back to the angry Mexican that I was referencing in the past video, former associate of G for T. Really impressive on a resume, dude. Really impressive. Seething about immigrants from shithole countries. Dude, have you looked in the mirror? You're the furthest thing from an athlete. In fact, you're like the stereotypical dude that somebody would make fun of if they're poking fun at, oh, I don't know, a Mexican immigrant who talks with a funny accent. When you see them teach people of color to teach or to speak hatefully of other immigrants or people of color. Then you'll understand the programming. But it isn't until you actually understand that. Now, as I told you in recent videos, unless you actually know what someone's immigration status is, if you walk into a coffee shop and I and a few people are sitting down, how do you know who's legal and who's illegal? The answer is you don't, unless someone's actually committed a crime going, I'm committing a crime, blah, blah, blah. Then you don't. Then you don't. Then you don't. End of story. There's analysis of clothing. There's how they sound if they're talking. But if they're not talking and you're not bothering to talk to them and you're just looking at that person at that coffee shop that seems to be the look of that look that you've been taught to hate. Remember, the post 9/11 world created all the imagery in the world that I would call the hell realm that my soul incarnated into. When it incarnated into a combination of genetics and bloodline families that both cast me out for being different. And that would be the truth. And that wouldn't even be challenged. Now, Alex, we're going to challenge this worldview that you've developed and have been speaking about on your YouTube platform for 15 years. No challenge. There'd be some that would feel a sense of guilt, like, ouch, he's hurting. Good luck with that, kid. Here's $100. Get yourself a liquor quick. Whip. Get yourself a hamburger, boy. Get some bones on. But that would be rare. That would be rare. And I would appreciate that. Sometimes I would wonder if some people cared if it was pity money. And all these things would be natural over the years, wondering, but where is the real allies? Where are the other people in the alternative media that support me, that send people my direction? Where are the people that don't go, hey, Alex Anthony, have you heard about this really popular guy who's like bigger than life? Have you thought about sucking up to him? It's like, where would be those conscious women that are actually really awake, not in the false awake, that would go to those large YouTubers and drop my name and understand the higher spiritual way in this going about? Because at this point, realizing how many people are lost to the illusions of separation, not true 911 truthers, but just using things like that to prop up their own private conspiracies. It's like Tina Turner, I got a private dancer, dancer for money. It's like they got their private conspiracies. Use 9/11 for truth for their own agenda. Do what you want me to do. And that's what makes Alex Jones an actual real life devil man. Just like you have Cliff Richards in the 1970s song, he's just a devil woman with evil on him. It's like you look at Alex Jones, he is the incarnation of a satanic avatar or figurehead. The very fact that people like him would be acting like they care about people of the Middle East and talking about that event that got us in these wars and saying they use that event to start an extermination process, and then to have people that follow him today not even go, well, Alex Jones used to say this. Maybe we're being misled on this. Again, circling the hole, guys. Circling the hole. Just like when you're with that girl and you've had a lot of beers and the girl goes, wrong hole, asshole, wrong hole. When you're almost like too drunk to fuck, right? Because it would be almost like at that level of consciousness that it feels that I'm trying to communicate in some cases. If I literally have to explain to you what a 180 turn is. So if you have people that weren't involved and hanging out with me back in the day when we were trying to wake people up to things AJ was saying back then, and they're all now like filling out into the streets all drunk and, ooh, left, right paradigm. Trump people versus non-Trump people. Alex Jones, Alex Jones. That's a special level of programming if they can't look in the mirror, because it's not like you don't have YouTube to go, oh, dude, watch this. This is Alex Jones in 2005. And a dude on that smartphone can go, what a fucking asshole, dude. You're being really disrespectful to police, Alex Jones. I thought you were all about Blue Lives Matter. What's all this saying the cops are going to kill you and stuff, dude? You guys destroyed my life. Da, 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 but we are coming after you. And then 10 years later, like the police are doing protection for Alex Jones. And then, like, one could even go, well, Alex Jones doesn't really have supporters. It's all a facade. It's all propped up. Unless you walk in my shoes and you move to a part of rural America to where that man is a god to some of these people that have never actually done real research into the control structure. He is a living embodiment of the Son of God. He's not the Antichrist to them. He literally is Jesus 2.0. He is their savior. And as I said about Donald Trump, the Don. I don't know if I've ever met a Don I ever liked. But welcome if you're a Don and you're a good person. Welcome, Don. Um, but we are dealing with big time stuff. Big time stuff. You know, fast food king in plain sight. Everything would be in plain sight. Future generations of like real actual indigo children, not like fake ass ones that can't see like the obvious reality, but like actually truly aware psychic children of the future that will like be speaking out. Think about how they can like do an analysis paper on how the elite put it in plain sight, like what Donald Trump was, how they can like put a picture out of Donald Trump smiling with Hillary Clinton. Like there's no evidence of me ever supporting any of the Clintons, but here you can have someone perceived to be like an opponent to Hillary Clinton. At one point, he supported her, and you have both of them that are supporting these occupations overseas. And gee, how interesting. Russia is looking for an end to, or an in rather, an in, not an end to US occupation in the Middle East, but an in rather for their own foot back in the door of Afghanistan. And this all relates to the pipeline. And this is old school. So you look at these pacts almost behind closed doors, right? And I talked about that. I talked about Trump and Putin working together to depopulate the Middle East. Oh my God, blasphemy! Oh my God, your white God's been so offended. Oh my God, let me bow down upon thee. Let me bow down upon thy ego. Let heaven forbid you feel your feelings have been hurt. Heaven forbid people, I don't know, projected others are snowflakes, and that they are really strong in their emotions and being able to handle criticism and critical thinking. I'm sorry, what was that? There's hope, Alex. People are waking up. It's 2012. It's 2012. Wait a minute. No, it's 2012. What 2012? Now, getting to the stake, now that we went through potato, was Alex Ansary wrong when he made a prediction about a solar event creating a zombie apocalypse in 2013, as seen under the news item? You type in Alex Ansary under Google News. Into the shadows. Alex Ansary predicts zombie apocalypse after 2013. I'm sorry, was I wrong? I'm sorry. See, I was almost thinking there that someone could have taken that literally. Oh no, no. The only interpretation of that would be a grid down situation and people basically becoming zombies because they have no food to eat. Au contraire, we're getting metaphoric with this one. Alex Ansary is quoted as saying, "I talk about the real zombie apocalypse, not the hee hee ha ha one." You see, because a little bit about the hee hee ha ha. The zombie apocalypse, the Thriller dance. Look at the sexy zombie. They literally branded sexy zombie, zombify yourself. There would be like this wave of hot chicks, hottie white chicks, dressing like zombies. There'd literally be an ad on YouTube that says zombify yourself. And also think about the rise in not only pornography, and not to box it all into one way of perceiving that. In recent years, we've come to learn that there's a fair amount of women that consume a lot of dirty, violent pornography. It's not just a male dominated consumer base. Stating that is to help illustrate that elements of perversion on the sexual dimensions is why we're in the master slave relationship. So people literally being bombed back to the Stone Age and civilizations being raped as people look on. There's elements of the wiring of the body, mind, machine, that it's things coded within it. So we would make many of us and have different types of things thrown into the DNA through like a whole stream of fuck history. Now, there's a lot there, and there's a lot of beauty there. We talk about my blood and even the East Indian side. There's a lot of things, including martial arts, that came from East India, and a lot more pure teachings, and even elements of Kama Sutra, real lovemaking. Now let's fast forward to the zombie apocalypse. You tell me if that's Kama Sutra in the streets of America today. And go ahead and wear Indian clothes and go, I'm gonna put a dot on my head and be spiritual and stuff. I listen to a freaking Indian guru on YouTube from many miles away. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Because this is the day and age where people think they're spiritual putting a dot on your head while your own people literally drive over overseas civilizations. Go, what me worry? I didn't vote for Trump. I'm with the Democrat. The Democrats are for like loving people and stuff and like not white supremacy. Really? Really? That's why you have a bipartisan agreement to have a blank check that will not only bankrupt your nation, but destroy artifacts, civilizations, and ultimately take women in Afghanistan and other countries down almost to like a dog-like level to where warlords in those countries, scumbag mother that never had any power before during the time of the Afghanistan government that was stable. You know, the one that my dad's father was in, looking more like a Westerner at the table of the UN than your stereotypical, in your mind's eye, idea of a Taliban. You've got to understand at one point they had haircuts, beards, their beards were not all the way down here. People had shaved faces. Not like there's anything wrong with the beard. You need to understand the period before the burqa. Because if you can't understand that there was a period before the burqa, no life was perfect. Life wasn't perfect for Americans in this fucking country. Get over your fucking self. But there was a point in time where tourists from France and Europe were traveling into Kabul, Afghanistan, to the theater, to go out to eat. Women had more rights. Do you speak English? Women had more rights before the Russians invaded. And now you're living in a world where Trump said the other day, yo, maybe the Russians, and I just came across that. He said literally, maybe they were right. Don't you understand? There is a worldwide coalition. They have 1 million Muslims in China in concentration camps. And you want to act like some of us are just a little bit crazy for thinking about things like this, for thinking about World War II repeating, only this time it not being the Jews. The new Jews, the new niggas would be, and you look me in the eye and you tell me how there could even be such great hatred rising in the future unless they create hysteria that those people were somehow replacing whites. Do you realize that in the entirety of my own life, I've only met 2 people that I know of that were mixed between the same or similar combination of the East and the West? The specific. Not so specific on the European, but definitely specific to the forest country. 2. Now, how do you think it feels to be inundated with media that says that these people are running around everywhere? Now, think and put yourself in a situation where you could be the only white person for years in certain communities or in a community situation. White people could be blamed on some event. Right? Think about it in your mind's eye. And you're not even like in that native country. But you know there's more to that event that they were blamed on. There's more to all those people, all those white people being marginalized as devil people. I mean, you just know it within your heart. You just know that some things are wrong to say and evil. Now tell me how somebody can look me in the eye and say that this is evil to put us all in this box. But these people, they're actually set up for the event. No evidence of a group of people getting together and going, yeah, 911. No, no. They admit to a certain degree, or there are many ways in which it's documented fact in which they showed fake protests of people saying, down with America, on the day of 911. CNN had archival tapes of Palestinians from like the late 90s that they were playing on the day of 911 saying that those were Afghans. So you like to have a history of CNN doing that. So then when the right and the left divide and they have the fake war on Trump, because it's not a real war in the military industrial complex, it's a left-right divide. It's a bipartisan conspiracy stomp on the face of the Middle East. And if you have people that can't call out CNN's bullshit, and CNN somehow having an interview with Osama many years ago, are you dealing with an intellectually fit society or a morally fit society to do the most simplest of things, not just to brush its own teeth and to wipe its own ass, but to prevent human trafficking epidemics, to prevent certain levels of the government taking over? Do the people that you interact with or see on the other YouTube channels come across as people that are actually warning you about the real things that are probably going to transpire within your lifetime? Or does it feel like they're leading you in circles? And if the answer is it feels like they're leading you in circles, how many of you can say that you will still watch people that lead people in circles because they entertain you? Right? Going over to Christopher Green, where's Chad? being entertained by this, going over to InfoWars and maybe da 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 da, and people are literally entertained by this, and they would even be able to like snap and realize, holy crap, there's like whole industries that just simply make money off your hate of them. So you have literally Howard Stearns of the world, Alex Joneses of the world. And because of that, and because of even speaking about people that they hate, like politicians, they can literally make someone a paper revolutionary celebrity before the whole world through a false hate campaign. You know, when I used to look at comments, I think one came in regarding reverse psychology, right? The establishment hates Trump. It was reverse psychology. But at the time, people were like, oh my God, this is crazy, dude. It's not reverse psychology. The establishment totally hates Trump, man. And it like totally made sense to them. They in their superiority complex could not perceive an opinion outside of their own perceived superiority complex, their armchair political master's degree thesis that Trump's a renegade. Yeah. Gonna bring you some fast food. Daddy's coming home. And see, now we're at this level where we're a few years into this. Those people that were still loyalists after 2007, we can't reach them. You can't reach Democrats that think that they're anti-war or think that because they got a Muslim in office that something's going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't no end going to happen to the genocide of the Afghan people. And you can't trust anyone in this world that can't recognize that a genocide is taking place to the Afghan people. You can't trust people like that. You can't trust a people. You can't trust a woman. You can't trust a man. They can't look you in the eye and admit what is taking place to millions of people overseas that did nothing to you on 9/11. I won't even purposely even try to live in the same town, but you can live in a nightmare situation like where you literally find yourself residing in your own country of birth that is seething with a specific version of anti-themism, which overshrouds any corruption of their own peoples or favorite media figures. The anti-themism would be the biggest religion. So they would say that Islam is the biggest religion and threat, and they would literally create anti-themism as the dominant religion within the United States that would bring the Tiny Tootsies of the world together, along with the Joey Gibsons, along with others. And there would be like this coalition of people. Now, stay with me now, because they teach minorities to hate other minorities now and to serve anti-themism, if not white supremacy itself. But anti-themism is a tool of white supremacy, but white supremacy is a tool of the devils of this world to create anti-themism of future generations of white people. I understand I'm speaking a little bit fast. I understand that there's a complex stepping stone, kind of like a Kali Yuga. And as we slam deeper into the Kali Yuga, you will see people going deeper into the illusions of separation based on skin tone, as they will almost incarnate the ancient Indian caste system within our modern day and age. It's okay to be white. No one's saying there's not. There are people out there that will say that, and they don't realize the media isn't working against them. The media will, in some ways, act or mimic an almost anti-white sentiment, right? To kind of, for the so-called info warriors of this fallen world, they go, see, and they're going to literally be orchestrating things to get you to rise up, like in the spirit of James David Manning, right? We talk about Obama being a long-legged Mac Daddy. Okay, so as a black man, he called out a black man and said, I ain't going to drink your jungle juice, Obama, right? But see, he got a ton of support from white America. They like that. You're going to call out the black man. That's good. You're not going to drink what's that? You're not going to drink the juice of Donald Trump. You're not going to get down and do the hand job knob. You're not going to get down and try to hold another man's peace, get behind another man, like literally do a Humpty Hump and not act like that's homoerotic as hell. It's like, folks, even if there's some homophobia within our society, a bunch of people have acted like they want to get down and suck Putin's dick, no matter what. Just let Putin just spray him a new fucking hydrant. Oh, Vladimir Putin, savior of the world, bring in balance and such. These are the types of things that only alien voices would be beaming into Homo sapiens. I mean, these aren't normal thoughts. These aren't normal thoughts to be thinking that foreign leaders care about the American people, care about your plight, let alone care about white people. It would be the absolute inversion that the people that look most like you would be deceiving and destroying your society the most. I don't mean little people on the ground. I mean the figureheads in the media and politics. They could be certain people of color, minorities that they put on TV to enrage you and cause like this distorted, like, oh, we're being replaced. Look at that Jolly Jew looking guy on CNN, and he's next to that really hot chick who's criticizing Trump. Wow, it must be like a whole world of really hot white chicks that don't want us and minorities against white men and Donald Trump. All of this is a script. All of what I just said to you is a script to cause the unthinkable in America's history. And you got to understand it takes a very solid, focused control structure, Illuminati New World Order that already exists before 9/11 to create the type of media control and Alex Jones style COINTELPRO agents, but to also come in on the left and make sure that there would never be a 9/11 truth movement on the left side, that it would be taken over by the right wing lunatic, now known as the Alex Jones deception. It literally curb stomped 9/11 truth. Do you know what it means to be curb stomped? Okay, so when you think about the movement being curb stomped by Alex Jones, do you understand English? So yes, I think Alex Ansary could have been right in his prediction that was given in 2010, 2011, that after the 2013 time period, we could see the energies caused by the sun or the universe cause somewhat of a zombie apocalypse. I talk about the real one, not the ha ha one.